Coach Cam made this shit.
I'm going to start my list off with the show How I Met Your Mother.
I guess underrated. Because, I mean, it was a big deal whenever it came out. You don't hear people talk about it anymore. Mm-hmm. But it's still pretty fucking funny. Mm-hmm. With a really good cast, but, yeah. So I'll go underrated.
Yeah. I seen it higher than both Modern Family and New Girl.
Yeah.
On a lot of lists. And I don't agree. So I think it's overrated.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that show has more of a broad appeal. Like, it's an easier show to watch for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Like, universally. I guess. Not saying, like, New Girl and Modern Family super niche, but...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's, like, pretty well-received comedy, no matter what age group or, like, really what your sense of humor is. So I get the more broad appeal to it. Mm-hmm. But, you know.
Yeah, still great. Like, I'm not hating on it, but I think it is overrated.
Family.
Just in general?
Yeah, just in general. People that you are biologically related to.
I guess overrated?
Yeah.
I mean, like, depends on how you look at it, like, but, like, just, I know some people give, like, family a pass if they're related to them, regardless on how shitty they are, not only to others, but to them.
Yeah.
So, that's definitely the overrated part of family. Like, you shouldn't just let anyone walk all over you.
It really gets on my nerves because, like, especially in TV and stuff, that's, like, one of the plot, like, a big part of the plot is that, like, oh, yeah, this person's shitty, but they're eventually going to come back because that's their family. And I'm like, you really don't have to. Mm-hmm. Like, I hate that old saying that blood is thicker than water.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's, like, one of the most vague sayings that you could say pretty much about anything. That doesn't make it relevant in any situation. Like, just, I don't know. Like, I don't know. You see that in TV shows all the time. Like, like somebody in their family's like a fucking gang member, rapist, serial dog killer, and they're like...
All the time. See it all the time.
Yeah. They're like, oh, that's my brother.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta be there. He's gotta be the best man at my wedding. That's my brother. And you're like, no, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, just because your parents are shitty... Like, and you don't have to go back to talk to him. You know? Mm. Like, you don't have to. There's really nothing making you except your dumb logic of, we're related. You know, like, who cares?
Yeah. But, like, family can be underrated on the fact of, like...
Oh, if it's a good family?
Yeah, I was going to use an example of, like, Modern Family.
Like a super close family?
Yeah, like a family that's, like, just nice. They treat everyone with respect in a family manner.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so, like, family could be super underrated, but
yeah,
it's also overrated for the same facts of just, you can't just let people walk all over you just because they're family.
Yeah. I always liked my parents being together growing up for the wrong reasons, because it meant I didn't have to go to more places on Christmas. And that is by far, I love my girlfriend's family. That is by far the worst part about being in a relationship is how many fucking places you have to go on the holidays.
Yeah.
Because, like, my girlfriend's parents, they're split up. So I have to go to each of theirs. And they have parents. So I got to go to their shit. And then I got to go to my family shit. I hate it. Yeah. Every fucking year, I hate it.
Next, for me, is watches.
Dude, they're overrated.
Like wristwatches?
Yeah. They're overrated. Yeah. It's hard to, outside of fashion, and maybe if you use your smartwatch for, like, fitness reasons, there's really not a lot you can justify having a watch nowadays.
Really?
You don't need it.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I get that. Yeah.
It's the, I don't know, it's the least, useful, just, like, bit of fashion that we wear.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, granted, it has a little bit more purpose than a necklace.
Yeah.
But, I mean, nobody uses it for time. Nobody gets a watch for time.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always liked, like, bracelets and just, like, stuff on my wrist.
Yeah, it's cool.
And so I think, like, a watch is perfect for that. Like, like in a nice outfit, a nice watch makes your outfit look even better.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I just got a watch recently, and I try to stop myself because I'm like, dude, I need to like be a grown person that just looks at their watch. I still pull out my phone, click it, and see what time it is. I'm like, God damn it, why'd I do that?
Really?
Yeah, I haven't had it for a while.
Yeah. I've been wearing my watch for long enough that I'll do this. Even if I don't have my watch on, I'll catch myself look, and I'm like, shit. And then I have to go find my phone to check the time. So I do check my wrist first.
Yeah. Well, it's tough having a decent watch that like you care about because they're in a very compromising spot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it can get fucked up at like any minute, and you can't like put an OtterBox on them. I've seen OtterBox for smartwatches. You look stupid.
Yeah, they're bulky. They're big.
Yeah, it's like the equivalent of like the special needs kids that wears like floaties and a helmet. You just look. It's just kind of ridiculous. Like maybe don't have a watch then. Like if you're that destructive, and I am, but I have to just kind of accept it and not get an OtterBox for it.
Yeah, I've had mine a couple of years, and you can tell like it's pretty beat up. Like, it's scratched up, and like, but it's not like I never shattered it or anything like that. So I guess I'm not like too bad about it. Yeah,
because I mean, dude, it's anything. Like right now, if I raise my arm up, at some point I'll probably hit my watch on the table. Maybe you and somebody's walking through a doorway at the same time, going opposing directions. You have to scoot over, hit your wrist on the fucking wall. It's just, I don't know. It's just always in a spot to be hit.
Yeah. I didn't get my answer, but I do think they're I think they're overrated for the fact of like they're easily the most hyped up. Like, you see people like flex watches so much. Yeah. Versus like you could just get a decent watch and it looks nice.
And arguably just as good sometimes.
Yeah.
I've seen watches that cost like thousands of dollars that look better than watches that cost like hundreds of thousands.
Yeah. Yeah, a watch is like the only jewelry that I find myself being like, the middle ground's really nice.
Yeah. I mean, dude, you can even find like a good $90 watch.
Yeah. Yeah, it's versus like a necklace or something. I always find like super cheap, looks super cheap. So you need to go like, the more you pay, the better. Versus a watch isn't always that case. You can find a really, really nice watch for any price range.
I love that fucking watch you showed me.
The Louis Vuitton?
The smartwatch.
Yeah, that thing's fucking crazy.
That's so fucking nice. Yeah, overrated. Still.
Yeah.
Poems.
I guess I'll go underrated because I mean,
how often you writing poems?
Well, that's what I was about to say. Like, I don't write poems. I don't read poems like that. But it does feel like I guess a lost. I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say like a lost art form. I don't know. It just sounds.
I mean, kind of is.
Yeah, it is.
You don't see anybody writing poems anymore.
Yeah,
I think they're usually psychopaths if someone's writing a poem. But I don't know. I've always thought that would be kind of cool. Yeah, like just write a poem for somebody. But I don't know. I don't think I'd get away with it. I think you'd have to look like Chris Hemsworth for that to be like appropriate, and people not be like, "Dude, that's super creepy." Like, you wrote me a full poem.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a scenario of like if a girl wrote me a poem, how I would react. I don't know. It's an
what
odd
does it depend
thing.
on? It depends on if they look like Chris Hemsworth or not.
Well, it probably depends on if they like poems or if they just did it. Like if they were like someone who like reads poems and does that and then did that, that'd probably be pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't know why, but every single time I think of a poem, I think of haikus.
Yeah.
That is like, because that's like one of the biggest things we learned in elementary school about poems with haikus. So I know haikus and sonnets.
Yeah.
I don't know any other form of poem.
I don't know names of poems. But yeah, I think it's underrated. I don't think that they're overrated by any means. Yeah. They definitely are more underrated than overrated. Like, who's just like, I fucking hate poems. Like, I don't really hear that very often, so I don't think it's over.
Yeah, they would have to be getting a lot of bad poems for me to be like, dude, I'm sick of it. Yeah. Like, I'm so goddamn sick of it.
All right, and my last one is The Weeknd.
The artist.
Yes, yeah. The musician, The Weeknd.
I love both of them.
I mean, yeah.
Name alone, top tier.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's awesome. I mean, that's what does everybody like? I don't think there's anybody who just, I mean, unless you just work the weekends.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody that's like, man, I hate that time of the day, so or week. So, perfect name, solid fucking discography. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't love all of his projects. Starboy, I don't love it. I still like it.
Yeah, I like everything.
Yeah,
but
I like a decent amount of it, but I don't love it to the same standard I do like his other projects. Pretty untouchable. I mean, I don't know. Dude, everything the dude does is just.
So you're going underrated?
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I don't think that's going to be like a, oh my God, you say The Weeknd's underrated? But like, yeah, I don't. I mean, I do get if somebody said he's overrated because, I mean, he is a really hyped up person, but I think he lives up to the hype.
I think he's underrated for a very different reason. 2 years ago, most people that I saw said that his album was top tier, at least top 5 of their favorite albums of the year. Yep. He didn't get nominated for a Grammy.
Is it that album right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, After Hours. He doesn't get nominated for a Grammy, boycotts the Grammys, which is a really big deal. Seems out of spite, kind of, but it is what it is. And then 2 years later, someone who is known for just how amazing they are gets outsold by Gunna, who's definitely not like a household name like The Weeknd is. Like, Weeknd is definitely a bigger name.
Yeah.
And for him to be outsold like that, and most people are saying that his album's good. Like, no, I haven't seen many people be like, this album sucks. Like, people are still saying it's good. For a artist that big, I think he's the #1 artist on Spotify now.
Yeah. To
be outsold by an artist that's not as big shows that he's still underrated.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not to discredit Gunna.
Yeah.
He did good for what he had. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Brand superiority. So, like, people that are just, like, diehard, like, no, there's no way I'm getting an Android, like, iPhone. Like, they're really not interested. I'm talking about me, mostly. They're not really interested to know what the Android does well. Yeah. But they're just like, no, it's iPhones.
Yeah. Another example, I'm assuming, would be, like, I only wear Nikes. Like, shoes-wise, people...
Like, PlayStation over Xbox.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I think it's weird sometimes when you will draw the line on, like, certain things, like shoes. I don't understand. Clothing in general, I don't understand being like, I understand being like, I need a brand name a little bit. I don't agree with it.
Unless you're like Michael Jordan or something.
If you're sponsored, of course.
Yes, that's when I get it. That's when I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to wear any other shit because I get paid not to. So
it's definitely overrated because it's annoying when people point it out.
Yeah.
But if you just do that, that's fine. Like,
we all do.
I think most people, because, like, why would you want to change? Especially, like, the two examples that you used of, like, especially Apple. Because Apple starts to get, like...
Well, Apple's pretty much a fucking monopoly.
Well, Apple also, like... Once you get an Apple phone, if you get anything, you can get an Apple Watch. And then...
Everything connects.
Yeah, and it's this, like, big, like, family thing almost, where, like, now your computers...
it'd be stupid to get something else.
So if you switch now, it doesn't link as well. It still does, but it doesn't link as well to your watch. And you're like, well, maybe it's a minor inconvenience, but now it doesn't link as well to your computers, everything. So you start to fall into, like, the trap of it all, but who cares? Like, at the end of the day, just kind of make your decision. If you want to test the waters, don't get too deep into them before you truly commit. But if so, commit. And then if shit doesn't work out, just switch. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. Mine's mainly about, like, format. That's why I stick with Apple, because I got so used to their format, how everything's set up. I'm like, well, why would I? Yeah. It still kind of disgusts me to see green messages.
Yeah, iMessage is so much better.
Yeah, I hate the fucking green text. Like, it just even looks... Like, the shade of green they use, it just looks gnarly. It looks like puke. Yeah. You're just like, ugh, man, dude, just get an iPhone.
The biggest thing that I use that I cannot stand when I'm talking to someone who has an Android is liking messages. It's such an easy way of me not typing out, be like, oh, that's funny, or like whatever the response needs to be, I can just like your message.
Yeah.
And if you're on an iPhone, you just get the little heart, and they're like, oh, they acknowledge it, they liked it, but they didn't have anything to say about it. It's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you, I don't know if you've ever tried to do that to someone that has an Android, it like quotes the entire message.
Yeah, it'll say
and sends it back, and it's like Brenden liked your message, and then send them their entire message back.
Yeah, and you're just like, oh, what the fuck? Why? Why'd you do that?
Yeah.
But to the opposite degree, almost like, I don't know, if you're talking to someone really fucking annoying, or if you've ever seen like this interaction of like somebody says they believe in like equality, everybody should be free, and that sounds like a pretty universal thing.
Yeah.
But people will be like, oh, well, you say that, but you own an iPhone. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what phone do you fucking own?
Yeah, like
that doesn't do the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like, you pretty much have to have a smartwatch nowadays to operate in the world. Like, I mean, a smartphone.
A smartphone, yeah.
I mean, God, it's useful at work. I mean, nobody's walking around with a fucking. I mean, even the flip phones are probably made from shitty. Yeah, you know.
I can't imagine.
What are you doing?
Yeah,
you just send in messages via pigeon. Like, why do you feel so much better? Like, whatever phone you have, I'm sure.
Yeah,
it doesn't have the best roots. Yeah, like there's some shitty thing happening somewhere.
Yeah, and since this was more of a broad question, the console wars is stupid. God, it's so annoying. Like, I just choose PlayStation because I've always played PlayStation games. Yeah. And I like the PlayStation controller more, so I pick PlayStation. But when people are like, it's funny if it's your friend to be like, oh, you have an Xbox? Like, that's funny. Same as Androids. It's funny. Yeah. But to be, like, online, just being like, if you have Xbox, you're horrible. It's like, dude, like, at least be funny about it, I guess. But
yeah, I'll forgive a lot if you're funny about pretty much anything. Yeah. If you're funny about it, I'll be like, I don't really agree that there's a superior race, but he was pretty funny about it. So you get a pass from a white guy.
But the brands of just like have to have a certain brand.
Maybe brand elitism is maybe a better term than superiority.
Sure. Yeah. Still overrated.
Brand supremacy.
I still think it's overrated, but I think everyone does it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, unless you do it like you don't do it as a point, then you're a dick.
There's no winning with it.
No, you're either doing stuff just casually, being a decent person, or you're being a dick about it. Yeah. And that's what I want on my tombstone.
That's right. That's the famous quote from you.
You're either a dick or you're not.